I was getting like maybe 1 or 2 sales a day. I was working a regular job at the time, and I just broke it down. Whatever I was making at work, that was my quota for myself to make with the website, with the beats. And once that started happening, I was like, I'm a quit.
Let's be honest, you're not gonna find these videos anywhere else. Why? Because I make them. So it would really help me out if you subscribe. If you've already subscribed, what also really helps is if you like the video and leave a comment. It's hard in the era of clickbait videos on YouTube and negativity in the producer community, and I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. It feels like a lot of producers are caught up in making beats that they think are gonna sell. Obviously your beats sell, but in terms of how conscious it is when they're actually sitting down in front of the DAW to create something that they think customers want, versus what you're saying is you just make what you feel at the time or what you like, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, man. And it's I mean, shout out to people who do that, who like just go for trying to make whatever, whatever they think popping or whatever. But I can't do that, man. I've tried it before. I can't even sit up here and lie like I haven't, because I have relationships with people that's I guess more known to the masses or whatever. But my I guess my production style don't fit with what they do, so I could easily probably get like a placement with them. But if I can't feel it, man, I just can't. I don't know, man. I can't do it. It's just hard. Like I can't even get inspired enough to be like, I want somebody to hear this. If I'm not comfortable with it, I can't do it, man.
So let me ask you, because I had Homage on last week, and he makes boom bap beats, not exclusively, but that's what he's known for. And
you say who? What kind of beat?
Homage beats. Well, he makes boom bap records.
Boom bap, okay.
Golden era. For you, when you first started making beats, because there's a perception out there with producers, I know this because I hear it all the time, that you have to make a certain kind of beat. If you're not making a Drake type beat or Gunna type beat, whatever, you're not gonna sell beats, which is not true because we're here. But did you feel that way when you first got on the BeatStars platform and YouTube, especially because it seems like there's so much competition, and ironically people feel like the way to fight the competition is to jump right into the most competitive styles of beats?
Nah, I felt like that before I got on the platform, when I was just local, like just trying to do stuff, and you run into these different artists, like, give me something to sound like, you got something to sound like some club, something I can play in a club, or something to sound like this one, and I'd be like, nah. So like when I got on the platform and I started uploading my stuff to YouTube, I seen people were like a lot more receptive to, like, because at first when I started, I was doing like currency type beats or whatever, and but I noticed it was a lane for like whatever it was I was doing. It's a lane for everything. So like that's my advice to people that ask me about, like, when they jump into YouTube or BeatStars or something like that. I tell them, like, find you a niche. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even necessarily got to be something that you chasing. But whatever it is that you make, whoever you can hear on it, you ain't even got to be sit down and be like, okay, I'm gonna make a beat for Lil Baby. It's like, just make the beat, and then like once you finish, be like, okay, who can I hear on this? And like if that's your style, then run with that. But like just keep beating at it until people start noticing it, and then you build your audience off of that.
Did you find over time that just using that method of just making beats that you liked, that there was a common pattern or a common sound that grew? Like, did you find your sound through that process?
I think so. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think so. Because like I said, before I got on the platform, it was pretty much just like, I ain't gonna say compromise, but I guess you could say that. Because like when I like I said before, when I tell people, when I give somebody something and be like, yeah, this, I like it or whatever, but you got something that sound like this, I try to like meet them in the middle or whatever. But now it's like with the platform I got, it's pretty much like just whatever I'm vibing, I give you. and the people who consume it appreciate it, you know, or shop with me or whatever. It's just, you know, that's what it is.
Have you ever run into a situation where you've switched your style up for a beat or two and then it just doesn't go well?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was kind of on that. I ain't gonna lie. I got sucked into like what you were just talking about when you jump on to the YouTube or the BeatStars or whatever, and you see when I came on like 2018. My fault if I'm rambling, but I came on like 2018, and back then it was like Future Beats was like at its peak maybe, and so like I jump away like from doing what was starting to get me some traction or whatever, and I try something like that. And like even if I didn't like the beat, it's beats on my website I can go back to, and I just be like, man, I might need to erase this. It's just, you know, it's just trash, man. I hate it. But it's only because I jumped out of what I normally do and it was just trying to play to like a certain crowd or whatever. But yeah, I've tried it before, but nah, man, I could for sure see like the results of it was like, you know, my audience wasn't, that's not what they trying to hear from me. So, you know.
Here's a good question. We got a serious question from Bufo. He wants to know, and I think this goes into other questions about like scheduling and planning. Is the whiteboard behind you what you use to schedule or plan your day, or I don't know, like a checklist?
Nah, not so much of my day, man. I got ADD, man, so I can't. It's hard for me to even you know, try to plan something and stick to it or whatever. I just try to like I write my goals and stuff down, like for the year. So like even this interview, I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, I wrote that down. You know, just stuff I got going on. I just to remind myself. But like I say, I be so all over the place. It's just I try to bring some type of organization to my workflow or whatever. You know, because I got family, I got kids, man. You know, so it's kind of chaotic for me. So yeah, that's basically what it is. It's just projects I got planned, and you know, stuff like that. That's not necessarily like day to day, but just you know.
I never would have guessed you had kids. It's so quiet there.
Oh no, they at school right now. That's
okay. Oh,
that's
they're school age.
3:00, man. Huh?
They're school age. Got it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the kinds of beats that you're making now and the quality at which you're making them wasn't the same quality as when you first started. How did you grow as a producer?
I think just staying at it, man. Just staying at it. Just finding because when I started, it wasn't really the YouTube community wasn't what it is now. The way you can get on YouTube and find like tips and tricks on how to you know, do anything, whatever it is, even if it's something as simple as like workflow, to where it's not even nothing to do with like hands-on the technical aspect of making beats or whatever, just stuff like that. It's just staying at it though. And then when I did, you know, just constantly on YouTube, even still to this day, you know, just trying to educate myself on like how to make the process easier, you know, in anything, you know. But nah, hold on, my fault.
Do you set a daily goal for yourself in terms of how many beats you make daily, or how, if not, how would you estimate how many you make?
Nah, man. Sometimes I come in here and I try. I don't try to set a number on myself, but I do try to get in here and do something every day, like make a beat every day, even if it's some trash, man. Just something. I got to do something. But some days, man, I get in here and it's just so it's so frustrating that I just can't catch a vibe. You know, it gets to the point where it might ruin my whole day, man. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have a set number or nothing like that. Like it might be days where I come in here and I sit in here all day long, can't create nothing, And then days like yesterday where I come in here and I just bang out like 4 beats like back to back. You know, and then I come in here today and listen to what I did yesterday and be like, man, 2 out of the 3 probably will never get heard, you know. And that's just how I do it. I don't have no set format for how I do it. And that could be a bad thing, man. You know, I always say I need to add some more organization to my to my workflow. But
how do you get out of the beat block if you do feel frustrated? Because a lot of us, that'll scare us from the studio. We might not set foot in for another couple of days just out of fear for experiencing that level of frustration again.
I step away, man. I gotta step away. I that's all. That's and sometimes, man, I feel like that might not even work. You know, but I mean, that's normally how I do it. I step away, go find me something else to do, man. Go watch a show or something. Go watch Snowfall or something. I don't know, you know, binge something, and then come back to it like with fresh ears. That's I'm still trying to figure it out, man. But that's pretty much what I do most of the time.
So what I noticed about your beats is that the mixes are super clean and your drums are loud and clear in the mix. And Grandtastic asked a follow-up question. He asked if you use Soft Clipper on the master. I guess that's more of an FL question, specifically to FL. But what are some mixing techniques that you've picked up over the years that have improved the overall sonic quality of your beats?
I appreciate that, bro. But I don't put the master clip on the master track. I know some people who do. I don't. But what's helped me over the years just finding mixes that I do like and just trying to copy that. Just trying to get my stuff to sound like that, like somebody who I like a lot. As far as the mixes go, is like old l.dre stuff, like the Chronic album, the first one, or even 2001. But like how simple his production is, but like you can hear almost everything. Like everything has its own place in the track, and that's just what I try to copy. So what I do a lot of the time is I put I don't know if a lot of people in here use it, but what is it called? Isotope. You know what I'm talking about, Pain?
I use a lot of Isotope products. Actually, the most amazing thing, I use the RX-8. Do you have that?
Nah.
The other day, someone sent me vocal. So it's like a whole suite for. It's like an ER for music. So someone sent me vocals that clipped, and I was so frustrated because I'm not going to make her resend these. I'm never, I'm going to delay the whole process, and I wanted to mix this hook. I opened it up in RX-8, and there was a declip option. I don't know how it does it. It took the clip away, and the vocals were clear. I was amazed.
Without distorting it or nothing?
Yeah, without any kind of. It sounded like the person went. Yeah, it was like she went back into the studio and recorded it at a lower.
That's crazy. What is it called again? I'm gonna have to.
It's Isotope. I think RX-9 is already out. I'm not gonna beg them for a copy of that, but RX-8 is the one I use.
Okay, nah, I ain't never even heard of that. I'm gonna have to look into it, man.
But which one are you talking about? Are you talking about like the Spectrum Analyzer?
Exciter, my fault.
Oh, Exciter, yeah.
Yeah, I put the Exciter on my master track, and then I just try to give everything its own space. So I do like a lot of panning on the percussion. I do put the soft clipper on my kick drum a lot of the time, and my 808s. Not too much, but I'll put like a stereo enhancer on it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of like separate it from the kick, because sometimes the kick on top of the 808, if I do it like that, it kind of it can get messy sometimes. But I do put a lot of time into the mix. Sometimes I might put more time into the mix than I do actually making the beat. So I be appreciating when people like you just tell me they it sounded good. So.
Oh yeah, I mean you can tell because there's no mud. I mean, that's the biggest thing, and I'm glad you said that because I think the two biggest issues with mixing beats is one, there's so much mud in the low end that everything just sounds, I don't know, melted together. And then two,
Right.
separating the instruments so you actually can hear them all. And you're saying most of that is just gain staging?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. Yeah, just trying to create that separation, man. Just I don't know, man. I try not to have I try to have my lows just as, I mean, my highs just as loud as my lows, but without it sounding, irritating. When you play it back in the car, like your hi-hats is like screaming through the speakers.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I can't.
No, I know what you're talking about. It makes your ears bleed. I know what you're talking about. I hear that too. That's another problem. I think most people are focused on the low end and then they end up cranking the high end or like adding too much multi-band compression where they're just enhancing the higher frequencies. Right. And yeah, the hi-hat screams at you. I like the way you put it. So you have over 2 million BeatStars plays, over 13 million YouTube views, about 500 beats uploaded. When did you actually start selling beats online?
2018, I want to say.
Let me ask you this, because 2018 and like, so you got on BeatStars in 2018 and started trying to turn this into a career.
Yeah. Yep.
Because 2018, I think I started 2017 maybe, and I feel like that was late in the game. I had been reading the tweets and posts and everything leading up to that, probably since 2010, saying selling beats online is dead, too much competition, it's way too saturated. What made you want to push through all of that to actually try, even though knowing there was competition?
I wasn't even worried about the competition, man. I was desperate, man. It was just like nothing was working what I was doing. And cause I got on in 2018, but it had been a few years, but people was really since like, I don't know I'm sure you remember SoundClick days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And people was telling me back then, like, I should get on and start selling beats online. But back then, just being stubborn, I used to be on some junk like, man, I don't want to be labeled as an internet producer and just stupid.
No, me too. I hate that about myself. But like, what can we do now, right?
Right. Past. That's the way, man. That's the name. It's the game now. But I seen somebody from the city. From somebody from where I'm from. I seen they was on the platform. And they was making it work for them. They was like really, Taz Taylor.
Yep.
Yeah, he was, really doing.
I forget that he's from out there. Yeah.
I never met him before, or whatever, but I used to watch his YouTube vlogs and stuff, and I was like, damn, I ain't know he was from out here, or whatever. And I seen how he was, doing the stuff or whatever, but he was really making moves. He had bought a nice car and all that. I'm like, damn, I'm over here struggling, man. I'm trying to work with these artists who really don't even, they not really putting 100 into it. And like, I'm kind of waiting on them hand and foot for them to make a move for anything to happen. I'm like, man, from what it looked like, it looked like BeatStars got it the way you put the control into the producer's hands. Like, put all the power into the producer's hands. Like, you can move these beats however you want to. And I had a friend too, for Flex. We started together, but he was the one who told me about BeatStars. And I looked up some videos, like some I think a few of yours. I don't know if you were making not tutorials, but like videos like giving game and stuff. It was like videos like that. And I was sold, man. I started getting into it. It took a while for me to start really getting sales. But yeah, like 2018.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. How long did it take until, from the point that you started in 2018 until you actually were able to go full time with it?
2018. I want to say it took maybe about 3 months before I got my first sale. But like, once I got that first sale, I was consistent the whole time. But once I got that first sale, it was like it just never stopped. And I got to the point where like I was getting like maybe 1 or 2 sales a day. And then once that started happening, I'm like, okay, well, I know I can make what I'm making it work, because I was working a regular job at the time, and I just broke it down to whatever I was making it work in a day. That was my quota for myself to make with the website, with the beats. And once that started happening, I was like, I'm gonna quit. Once I get a consistent income matching what I'm making it work, I'm gonna just quit. But it took about a year before that happened. It took about a year before that happened. Yeah.
So what was it like? I don't know if you saw this. Are you familiar with the producer Dilly Got a Bumpin'?
I've yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So he started another channel. He put out a video. And trust me, when I say this, everyone's going to ask, you should have him on. He's coming on as a part 2 after he put this video out. It's already scheduled. I'm glad he put the video out after we scheduled our interview, because I'd be begging him for a conversation right now. But he put a video out explaining how he made, we're going to round up, basically $1 million off of the BeatStars platform. And it was similar to your story in the sense that it started out really slowly, and it was like what he called linear progress. It was just kind of a consistent rise up until a point when it jumped up to exponential progress. Is that how you experienced it?
Yeah, pretty much exactly. And I say it probably wasn't even so much linear, because I had points to where like it was kind of just steady. You know, it wasn't like consistent rising. It was like maybe that first year I got up to like when I was making pretty much what I was making when I was working a regular job. Then once I quit, it kind of like doubled. Then it stayed there for like a while. And then like after, you know, when I quit, I was able to put out more beats. And then that's when it started going up again. So
yeah, was there like a magic number in your catalog that you noticed really inspired people to buy more?
Number of beats?
Yeah.
Nah, not really, man. And to tell you the truth, I stopped counting. I had my friend was a homeboy of mine, was just the one to tell me like, bro, you know you got X amount of beats, you 300, whatever, however many beats on him. Like, nah, man, I don't even realize, man. I don't even sit back and I didn't even realize I had 1 million streams on the website until it was almost like 999 or whatever, you know.
Wow.
Or 900, whatever. Yeah, so I just kind of put my head down and just keep working, man. I don't even like pay attention to the numbers or what I've done or what I'm doing or whatever.
I feel like that's key, because otherwise, I know a lot of people are really focused on the end result. And the way I look at it is like there is no end result, because it's always going to change based on your goals at the time. But also just fixating on the numbers. If your goal is so rigid and that's what you're focusing on rather than the process, then you kind of end up driving yourself crazy.
Right, and I've done that before. Not really so much as the numbers on BeatStars, but more so like income. You know, when I set a goal for myself to make X amount of dollars in a month, and I did that, and then surpassed it the month after. I'm like, I don't know, it get kind of scary. It's like I had this set goal for myself, and I don't even know where to go from here. You know, I mean, I can make more money, but it's like it's I don't know. It's kind of like empty once you get them.
It's almost like success is more frightening than the alternative,
Right, right.
which
That's
is
why,
so
man. Like
weird.
I just try to stay inspired, man. That's really the ultimate goal. Just stay inspired. Everything else that's gonna come with this is just it's gonna be there, you know, as far as money and numbers and stuff like that. You know, I just wanted I just be wanting to feed my family. That was the ultimate goal. You know, before I made $1 off the platform, I just wanted to be able to feed my family off of doing this, just straight music.
What were some mistakes you made when you first started selling beats online that you learned from?
Mm, uh, not when I first started. Maybe not looking more into like advertising. Not really knowing. Not really even trying to learn as much as I should have been learning about it. Because to tell you the truth, I'm just now kind of starting to understand the advertising and you know, working your social medias to make them work for you. You know, stuff like that. You know, I really wish I would have, you know, really not paid more attention. But you know, I watch, like I said, I always try to educate myself. So I watch videos like yours and like the one you got with what's it, Mike Trampy? Is that his
Yeah,
name?
about Facebook ads. Yep.
Yeah, like that one. Like I had been hearing about that for a while, but um I never bothered to really like get into it and try it until I seen that video. And that was like what, maybe a year ago?
Yeah,
Year and a half,
at
two?
least a year, probably 2 years, I think.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, that's some stuff like that, man. That's I had been doing it for too long. And at that point it was already like working for me. So just to think about like how it's been working for me, if I had that information, if I had been utilizing that information back then, you know, ain't no telling like where I would have been now, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is important to point out though that you did do it without paying a cent for ads. It was all organic.
I feel like though, like, I mean, it's no it's no control in it though if you not, you know, it's just all because if YouTube decides to change the algorithm, it's like, you know, you kind of at the mercy of whatever they choose to do with the platform. So I mean, I feel like that's where advertising comes in, or where like it's so important because I mean, you pretty much in control. You seeing the numbers, you seeing what's working for you, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, so this is a good segue into talking about YouTube. So did you start uploading beats to YouTube also in 2018?
Yeah, yep. I did everything together at the same time.
Have you noticed any changes within the algorithm in terms of engagement, views, that kind of thing?
Yeah, man. Um, it seemed like maybe like within the last maybe 2 years, um, it's like the videos that if you don't rank like within the as far as your tags and stuff, the ACO scores, if you don't rank within like the top maybe 5, it's like even harder for you to get seen on that first page because YouTube, I have it to where like even when you search something, so say you search Rick Ross type beat, maybe the first 5 would be like what you search for, and then like the next 5 or 10 will be like stuff that you that you just been like your interest or whatever. Like it don't even have nothing to do with any type of instrumentals. So say you were looking up, I don't know, interviews, Breakfast Club interviews earlier that day. It might have some Breakfast Club interviews that pop up or just different type of whatever you've been looking at. So it's like whatever they do to change it, you know, it's like you kind of at the mercy of that. So if you ranking number 6, you going from the sixth video from the sixth video on the page to now you 14 or whatever. You in between all the noise.
So has your YouTube strategy changed with time then since you first started?
Yeah, like I said, like it's more so like to where I'm getting into the advertising and you know, that type of stuff, and utilizing my social media platforms more, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I noticed.
My fault. What's it?
Well, I noticed your Instagram. You've been consistently posting beats on there. Like, what other social media platforms are you leveraging right now to increase your traffic?
I just started getting back on Twitter and Facebook. The same with Facebook. I kind of took a step back from Facebook for a while. You know, just because I thought it was, you know, no traffic over there. I didn't know it was even an audience over there. I thought it was just pretty much for old people and family and stuff now, you know what I'm saying? So, but now I got back on Facebook and stuff. Just trying to create some traction over there too.
Are you finding progress on those platforms that you previously thought were dead?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, I thought Facebook was pretty much dead until I, you know, started really utilizing it. You could tie it in with your Instagram now and use your email list and target people and over there just the same way you can do it with any other platform. So yeah, man.
Yeah, the email list thing is key. I didn't even have anything in my list of questions about email lists, but now I'll add it. So I noticed on your YouTube, all of your recent beats, pretty much you're targeting the Nipsey Hussle type beat keyword. How long have you been targeting that keyword niche, and what made you start doing that?
For about, I want to say almost since I started, really. Maybe about 2 years now, maybe. But what made me start doing it is I seen maybe the currency type beats wasn't moving as fast as they once were, and I felt like like I was saying before, like when I make beats, I try not to make a certain type of beat, but what I was making at the time, I felt like I could hit Nip on this, you know. And this is before he passed, and I started doing it, and it started catching, and it seemed like that's what my audience like really liked from me. And even when he passed, I had people in the comments like, bro, don't stop making the Nip type beats, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's what I love from you or whatever. So I just kept doing it. And every now and then, like I'll make something else. I put like a different type of beat on there, but it seemed like the ones that really get the most attention and the most sales is the Nip type beats.
Oh, my math was bad. My bad. So it's one beat a week. We're going to talk about that in a second. I don't know what kind of division I did to come up with that. So you had a few Nipsey Hussle type beats go past the 500,000 view mark. Actually a few, I think like 4 or 5, and then a couple others hit like the 300,000 view mark. Did those beats sell well also?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man. It seemed like really the ones like that with the most with the highest view count is really normally the ones that that's favorites on my page as far as the sales. So yeah.
What do you think was special about those few beats that they gained so much traction?
Man, I don't even know, to tell you the truth, man. I really do not know. I don't know, man. I say maybe timing. I say maybe like when that artist had something going on, you know, like I hate to say it, but I was making Nip type beats before he passed. So it's a beat I have on that. Um, I forgot what the beat called. My fault, man. But it's a beat I dropped like right after he passed, right after Nip passed, and I guess since his name was like a hot topic at the time, it's like it instantly caught. It instantly caught. So I'm guessing like with the SEO scores and the rankings and all that, and I was already like putting out Nip type beats, so like it was easy. It was easy to rank in that on that tag or whatever keyword. Excuse me. And yeah.
Yeah, what SEO tools are you using to monitor your rankings and to optimize your keywords?
Tool Buddy and what's the other one?
vidIQ.
Tool Buddy. Say it again.
vidIQ.
vidIQ. Yeah, I started
Okay.
using vidIQ at first, but I kind of use them together now. But I started with vidIQ first. Yeah.
Yeah, I use them together too because now TubeBuddy won't give you rankings, and vidIQ doesn't give you the weighted keyword score. So I'm like, well, I need to use both in order to get the best of both worlds.
And that's how I started doing it, from watching the video with you and Mike Champion, and I seen like it had the weighted versus unweighted scores or whatever. Yeah, that's how I found out about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that about it. So a lot of producers are, you have to. That's the premium feature, but you can use TubeBuddy for free. They have a free version. What advice do you give beat makers today who are just starting to get into uploading beats to YouTube and they're looking at the landscape thinking it's too saturated or they're just too frustrated with the algorithm?
Nah, man, I say just keep at it. Keep at it. Stay consistent. Create you a schedule for when you want to upload, when you want to drop on YouTube, drop on BeatStars. Like when I started, I was still working. I was doing once a week. I was just dropping once a week. When I first started, I wasn't getting views. It'd be like 60 views in a whole week. It's discouraging, especially when you think you got one that's really gonna do something. But you just stay at it, man. I say just stay at it, stay consistent. I tell anybody who asks me the same thing, just consistency. That's all. That's the majority of the formula, for me getting to 2 million plus streams on plays on BeatStars. That's it. It's just consistency. And I know a lot. It sounds so cliche to like when I tell people, I feel like sometimes they might think I'm just trying to just, play them to the side or whatever. But like, that's really most of what it is. Just create you a real schedule for when you drop and stick to it. And continue to educate yourself on keywords and SEO scores and how to make your YouTube better. Get into graphic design. Make sure everything you do is presentable. Make sure everything is quality. That would be my advice. And just keep at it. Like I said before, just keep at it. Eventually, something's gonna happen.
Okay, good segue as well, because you have a background in graphic design and you mentioned keeping everything quality. Or I don't know what your background is in graphic design. Did you formally train in that field? Are you self-taught?
Self-taught, man. And it's all out of necessity. Not having the money to pay somebody to do it, to do whatever I need to be done. And but at the same time wanting it quality. So I go off and look at something I do like and just try to copy it when I first started. Seeing.
Well, okay, so like Photoshop isn't easy though. So I know a lot of us can't afford to pay a graphic designer at first, and then we try to make our own graphics and they look like a little kid made it. So how did you get to the point where your designs were actually professional, to the point where now you can even charge, as a separate income for graphic design services?
Yeah, that was me learning on YouTube. That was YouTube University, how all the Photoshop stuff. But I really didn't even like I said, before I got on the BeatStars platform, I was doing stuff around, locally around the city. So I was making like cover art for people, but it was, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best work, looking back on it. Um, but the same way, just staying at it, just staying trying to get better. So I say like, maybe within the last 2 years is when I really got comfortable enough to really start charging for for that type of stuff.
So, in your experience, how important are graphics, whether it's BeatStars thumbnails or YouTube thumbnails? How important is having high quality graphics for selling beats online?
It's about as important as having a quality beat, because before anybody even hears the beat, that could be what attracts them to even click on the video, or as far as speaking the thumbnails, to even give your beat a ear. So I think that's just as important as the beat. you know and I would
Yeah,
say too,
that's what a lot of, like, when I interviewed the Two Buddy guy, that's what he was saying. Sorry, there's a delay. I cut you off rudely.
nah, you good, bro.
My bad. Continue.
Oh, my fault. Yeah, I was just saying, like, I lost my train of thought. My fault. Go ahead, bro.
That was my fault, but it was also the internet's fault. So we had a lot of questions regarding your upload schedule, and my calculation was way off. I was like, he's uploading 5 beats a week. It's more like
Hell no.
1.5 beats a week, I think, something like that. Has that always been your upload schedule, and how did you decide on that? Did you do research to figure out which day you would upload on which time?
Nah, man. I was trying to. At first, I was just trying to see what worked for me and my schedule. Excuse me. So when I first started, I was doing once a day. I mean, not once a day, once a week, and I used to do it like right before I went to work, and I used to work from like 4 o'clock to 10 or whatever. But so I drop it like 3 and just going to work. And then once I quit my job, I told myself I was going to double down on everything. So then I started doing twice a week. I think I might have been doing I started doing twice a week, and then you hear me? I had cut out. Did I cut out?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, but yeah, I started doing twice a week. That started working. And I just started doing 3 times a week. I told myself I didn't want to do more than 3. I didn't want to like overwork myself or whatever. Because by the time it really started working for me, I had a whole nother child. You know what I'm saying? It's just like trying to split up my time into like family and work, So I when my son was born in 2019, I started doing more so like twice a week. But I just try to make sure I drop something every week. Even if I'm not able to, I still try to like, drop something just to keep it consistent. Even if it's just once a week.
What did you learn from those different varied upload schedules? Did 3 beats a week mean more sales than 1 beat a week, or did it not seem to make a difference?
I think it makes a difference for me. I think the more beats I upload, the more sales. But at the same time, it might be it might be depending on what type of beat I upload. So if I have a week where I do upload 3 beats, but one of them is a Nipsey type beat, one of them is a Meek Mill type beat, and the other one is I don't know, say a Ross type beat. It might be only one of them that really like get some real traction, versus me doing like 3 of all the same type, then it might really boom for me.
So the focusing on a keyword is really what helped your YouTube channel.
Right.
How long have you been running your buy two get two free bulk deal on BeatStars?
When it started working for me, when I started getting consistent income from it, and I just added it. I didn't even know if it was really even gonna catch, or even if it was gonna help or hurt me. You know, like anything I did or am doing is really just trial and error. I'm just trying to see what's working and what don't work. It's plenty of stuff that I've tried that didn't work, and I just stopped doing it. And maybe I didn't do it long enough, but you know.
Yeah, a conversation that was happening in the chat that people were curious about. And I'm sorry, I forget who asked the question, but they were asking about how you priced your beats. Was that also trial and error? And then how did you come
Trial and
to
error.
decide? Okay.
Yep, trial and error. Just seeing when I first started, seeing what the people who I looked up to as far as on the platform, what their prices were, what I looked at, as far as what I thought was too low, you know, and just trying to find like a sweet spot. That's it. That's all. Because even when I first started, I charged more for beats I had with other producers, like collab beats. It wasn't much more, but it was just a little bit more because I'm like, okay, we gonna split this. Let's get a little more for it, you know. But I even stopped doing that. But like, yes, everything is just trial and error. And for anybody that's in the chat or anybody that's watching the video, listening, I mean, just because I do it this way don't mean you have to do it this way. It's like just do whatever works for your situation, your your situation.
But your advice would just be try different things out.
Yeah, just try. Just keep trying. Yeah. And when it worked for you, you know, just educate yourself. Keep educating yourself.
I feel like that needs to be like really emphasized because a lot of us producers think way too much. So before we even pull the trigger on an idea, we've tortured ourselves into thinking and obsessing over all the possible outcomes for like years. And to the point where we can confuse ourselves and we think, okay, I could change my price to this, but let me consider the current state of the economy. Let me consider the blah, blah, blah. You know, like all these different factors that you'll figure out if you just do it.
Right.
But we paralyze ourselves by not doing it.
I was the same way. I still am to some degree. But that's how I had to learn that, yeah, just do it. Even jumping onto the platform, it's like, you know, it's crazy. I had a BeatStars account maybe a few months before I even dropped the beat on it, just because of stuff like that, overthinking and like, now I want to put it out this way. I want to make sure I got this together. And I had to just be like, man, nah, man, just do it. Just drop it, man. Put it out. And it started working for me. And then when I seen that work for me, that's pretty much what I live by. Like once I start like thinking on something too much, then it's normally like downhill from there.
So let's go back to your 2 million BeatStars plays. Where does most of your BeatStars traffic come from?
YouTube most of the time. YouTube, Instagram. But a lot of my Instagram sales is like more so not hand to hand, obviously, but like you know, sending links and stuff.
Yeah, how does that work? Because a lot of producers are not great at networking or having those kinds of conversations.
Say it one more time, my fault.
How does that work when you're having an Instagram? So basically, it sounds to me like what you're saying is your Instagram sales come from actual conversations, direct conversations with artists.
Yeah, like I'll post a beat on my page or something like that, and they get in my DM or like my comment section or something like that, and I'll write them and you know, ask them what beat they're interested in, and I just send them the direct link to that beat. And if they have any questions, I just answer them in the DM or whatever, you know. right there. But that's
Yeah.
another thing too. Like I try to stay on top of just making sure anybody that's interested, no matter how many people it is, just stay interacting with your consumers, the people that's potential buyers. And I try not to even complain about it because it's a part of the job too. It ain't just the making beats part.
Yeah, which separates you from like the 95% of producers you're in so-called competition with, because that's honestly the biggest concern. And I'm going to do this again, but I've brought rappers on here. I've been on tour with Dame, talking to people in person, and I always ask the recording artists the same thing. I forget when they're coming on again. I'm going to have a new set of recording artists to come on to talk about, the beat buying experience, not just the beat selling experience. But from the buyer's perspective, the number one complaint is that producers just don't communicate. They don't answer their emails. They don't reply to their DMs. And I feel like if you do that, you're already ahead of so many other people.
That's crazy. It's crazy that you even say that because I never knew that. I thought everybody was pretty much doing the same thing I was doing.
Yeah, me too. Because it seems like common sense.
Yeah, I just take that approach because I try to look at everything like if it was me, if I was on the other end, if I was trying to, purchase something from somebody that I didn't know and online. And with all these scams and stuff going on, like if you don't have, no education on the platform, you could think like, man, like I don't want to spend my money and then, get taken advantage of. So I just try to make sure that if I was on the other, if I was on the other side of the transaction, I want to make sure, my money is, I'm comfortable with spending my money with this person.
No, I think that's one of the biggest keys that you've given out so far today. That feeling of consumer trust, because exactly. Like if you call a store, right, and you're trying to buy a car or get a car serviced or something, and they never answer and they don't call you back, you're not going to feel very trusting of that company and the people that work there, and you're going to feel taken advantage of. Same with like us. Like people are spending real money with us, and we can't take that for granted. We have to really appreciate that and be great. And that, like you said, it's just part of the game. And it is part of the game. I didn't think it was gonna be. I just wanted to make beats. I didn't want to be a customer service agent, but you got to be that because you're a one person operation, and it's got to be everything. You got to be holistic. So a couple last questions. Oh, we're really running out of time. You just dropped the instrumental project called 10 Days. You mentioned your collaborator earlier. Tell me about that instrumental project.
Oh man, it was just something I'm trying to get into, like being more consistent with. Just like I said again, just trying stuff, just trying to see what how I can even more so keep my hands on the wheel and control of stay in control of what I got going on. So I'm just trying stuff. I plan on putting out a few more, but I had dropped one in 2019, I think it was, called 30 Under 30. And I dropped another one last year called Stand for Something to Die for Nothing. And this one this year, and I plan on putting out a few more this year. Yeah, so I'm just trying stuff, man. I'm just trying, see what's gonna work.
And are these beats that you already have on your store, or you're making them exclusively for these projects?
No, I'm making them exclusively. Like eventually they might end up in the store. And not even to say like just because this is exclusively on this project that people can't jump in my DM and inquire about them or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty much just exclusively on the project. I don't have them on the store yet. At least the latest one I don't have any in the store yet.
Okay, last question. I didn't know Charlemagne the God and Stephen Colbert had a show, but you licensed a beat to that show for a trailer, I believe.
Yeah.
How did that come together?
That came with collaborating with another producer named Zach on the track. And Flex again, 2-4 Flex. And it was a situation that Zach had. And he pretty much kind of quarterbacked that one. So shout out to Zach.
All right, so then here's my actual last question. How do people reach out? How do people follow you? How do people check out your material? I know you have services, graphic design services, so forth. How do they get access to everything Pyro Beats?
Any way you can find me. The best place to probably hit me that I'm most consistent on is Instagram, Pyro Beats, PYROBEATS.